Hi, we're Paul and Marie. We're a UK reselling couple based in Southampton in Hampshire, and this is the Pallet Diaries.
When we ordered our pallet in January, the idea was that we would film it and it would be the basis of our first video for YouTube. However, as the pallet did take about 3 weeks from start to finish to do all the work, in the meantime we made other videos, so this is now actually our fourth video for YouTube. So we're just letting you know that, because when you start watching the next bit, it will waffle on about how it's our first video. It's not, it's our fourth. Apologies for the slippers. You've probably guessed by now that I do most of my work in my slippers. I like a bit of comfort, and I do have a bit of a thing for hats because I'm always cold. So that's something you'll notice as well. So hopefully you'll enjoy our video. We're a UK full-time reselling couple based in Southampton in Hampshire. For the past few months we've been thinking about buying pallets of returns, especially electrical returns, and wondered if there's actually any money in it. We wanted to do this as our first video. We've bought a pallet from Mart Hill International and we're going to do the unboxing, but what we also want to do is to let you know exactly how much everything cost per piece, what's damaged, what's not damaged, what we can make money out of, and also how much time it's taken to process the whole lot, list it on eBay, and at the end of our video we will give you all of those facts, because that's something we think that we would like to see in other videos. We would like to know exactly how much time it's taken and whether it is actually worth doing. So, should we begin?
Yeah, let's begin.
So, this arrived a few minutes ago, and the man was kind enough to actually wheel it into our garage here. Now, this isn't a blind pallet. We did buy a pallet of Hoover returns, purely because we had done some research and we wanted to choose an item that if a lot of it was damaged, that we could sell the parts for them so that we would get at least some of our money back. It's wrapped well. Okay. So, this pallet should contain 20 Hoovers. We'll show you a list in a bit. Right. So we'll take the top off. And you can see what we've got. Right, so straight away we'll see we've got some parts of Hoovers. So I think what we'll do is we'll start taking the bits out, the used bits and pieces. So I'm going to use this bag to put all the bits, because even things like the heads, for example, we'll be able to turn into some money. So if I put all the bits and pieces in this bag, then we'll see what we've actually got. So put the bag down there. Pieces. Right. So on our list of 20 Hoovers, it didn't actually give the product codes, so it was difficult to find out exactly what the items sell for. Now, see, some of these have got the Argos returns labels on them, so that's where some have come from.
Give an idea of what's wrong. Right, so I think what we'll do, because it's
the 19th of January. It's quite cold out here, hence the hat. So what we'll do is we'll empty all these bits and pieces out into our kitchen, where I'll put a cloth on our table and we can actually have a look and check it off against the list to see if what we've got is what we actually ordered. Right, as you can see, we've unloaded everything and moved it into the kitchen. We've put all the boxed items on the floor and on the top here, and we've put all the parts on the table so you get a good idea of what we've received. So just to recap, the pallet, which came from Marked Here International, come to a total of $447.55, which includes the cost of delivering the pallet. So when you work it out per piece, based on 20 hoovers, it works out at £22.37 per hoover. Now, as you can see, we have some boxed hoovers and some pieces of hoovers. So just had a quick look. We have 14 boxed items out of the 20. The other 6 hoovers are made up from parts shown on the floor and on the table. So we're not sure yet if they are complete. We'll have to assemble them and see. But as you can see, the condition is definitely used. Now, we do have one boxed hoover that says missing parts. Now, they are the 2 big ones that we've left in the garage because they are quite big. So I'll show you those in a minute. We've also got one yellow Argos label that says received broken, so that might be okay. Might just be able to swap the part. And we do have one yellow label that hasn't got any writing on at all, so that might not be too bad. But the general consensus is everything is used, everything will need to be double checked. There's nothing brand new in the box with just damaged packaging. They are all used items. So another thing to just point out about the delivery, when you order the pallet, you have a choice of paying for a next day delivery, or you pay for a 2 to 3 day economy delivery. We chose the economy delivery because we knew we would be in, because we are UK resellers that work from home. So we knew we would be in. It does say on the email that the transport will call you to book in the delivery, but that did not happen. So you just have to be aware that you have to be in. If you're not in and they have to re-deliver, you will incur an extra charge. Delivery is a tracked service, so even though you may not know when it's going to come, you are emailed and you can keep an eye on the tracking. So when we woke up this morning, it did say out for delivery, so we knew it was coming. They are normally a curbside delivery, but the man was kind enough to actually wheel it into our garage for us. So the total cost of this pallet, including VAT and including the delivery charge, was £447.55p. And what we'll do now is we'll start to look at the pieces, work out what can be saved, what can be ditched, and work out what we're going to do. Good morning. This is the second day of our pallet returns. The hat's off, but the glasses are on, and we wanted to give you a quick update. So as Paul pans round, you can see that the kitchen is still a mess. We spent some time yesterday afternoon washing all the items on the table. That was about 35 minutes of cleaning time, and that just dealt with the spare parts that weren't in boxes. As you can see, we've got some rubbish. We have gone through some of the other pieces, which we'll show you in a minute. But one thing to consider when buying a pallet of returns is that there will be a bit of mess for a while. After the cleaning yesterday, I spent about an hour doing a bit of research to see whether it would be better to sell the hoovers as hoovers or to sell them as parts. And it definitely did work out that you would get more money if you parted out the items. So what we did last night, we then, between us, we spent a total of 3 hours going through all the pieces that I'd cleaned on the table during the day. And what we did is we've cleaned them, we've labelled them, and we've bagged them. so that we now have individual pieces that will be ready for me to list today on eBay. So have a look on the floor here. This pile here, these are the ones that will be sold as pre-owned. They've all been cleaned and labelled, and they will all be separate listings. Some of the listings you'll see that we have more than one, and in some cases we have 3 of each item. Then on the floor we've got some that weren't on the table, so they were in the boxes, so they will have come out of the boxes. We've checked them all, but they will need to be cleaned before they get bagged. So that'll be my next job today. And then on the back by the wall we did have one Hoover that was new and unused. So we bagged, checked and bagged all of those items, so they will all be sold as new other.
Yeah, we decided the value of the complete Hoover against the parted Hoover. There's more value in the parted one.
Yes. So far, just to summarise, we have 9 items that are new. So we have a floor head, an extension tube, a power adapter, a crevice nozzle, a combination nozzle, a dust container, the mains unit and a bag cylinder, and all of those pieces will be sold as new, and they are ready now to be listed today. And then we have all of those items again, but the pre-owned versions of them, but in total that's for the Bush cordless hand stick, but also for the Vax Blade 24 volt cordless. So we have a total of 25 pre-used parts, some of which will need to be cleaned first, but then they will all be able to be listed. So this equates to about 19 listings, which hopefully I'll be able to get listed today.
It's 3 weeks later, and this lovely lady sat next to me has all of the facts and the figures.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, to recap, we bought the item from Mart Hill International for a cost of £447.55, and that included the delivery and the VAT. So that was on the Wednesday the 19th of January, and it has taken us 3 weeks to do a full circle from start to finish. But we've actually worked out that we had 98 sellable items from that particular pallet, which worked out at £4.57 per piece. Now we did have one quite cheap branded Hoover, didn't we? That was quite battered. So what we actually did with that item is we sold it on Facebook Marketplace for £10.
£10, yeah.
So that left 97 items that could be salvaged and listed on eBay. One Hoover was new, wasn't it? So that made 8 listings.
Yeah.
And then the other 89 listings were all used second-hand parts. So with second-hand, obviously, we try and make them look as nice as possible, so everything needed to be cleaned. So to give you an idea, the total listing value of the 97 items was £1,590.91. Now, these Hoover parts were listed in a category where there was 6.9% fees. That equates to £109.77. Then you put the 20% VAT on that, which makes it £131.73. And then you've got your 30p plus VAT, which is your 36p.
Yeah.
And that equates to £34.92p. So in total, the eBay fees for these 97 items equates to £166.65. We send everything out via raw mail, so the postage cost on these 97 items equated to £383.15. So the total to list and the postage cost for all of those items comes to £549.80. So if we remember, the total listing value started at £1,590.91p. If we take off the costs for eBay and the postage costs of £549.80, that leaves us with £1,041.11. Now we have to minus off the cost of the items that we bought from Mart Hill International, which was £447.55p. This now equates to a difference of £593.56. So best case scenario, that would be our profit on this pallet. However, as we've mentioned in previous videos, we have a system where we always have an offer button on, we accept offers. Sometimes in the month we'll have a sale, 20% or 30% sale. So the worst case scenario on these items would be that the profit would be £415.49. So we are looking at getting a profit from this pallet of between £415.49 and £593.56. We can't be accurate because each item's going to sell for a different price. We might, someone might make us an offer, or we might have a 20% sale or 30% sale. So there will be a difference, but it will be within that band, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always worth noting the hours taken, and this. When we bought this pallet, it was our first electrical pallet, wasn't it? We didn't really know how it was going to go. We were quite surprised at the condition of a lot of the stuff. I mean, everything that needed cleaning was quite bad.
It was, yeah.
I think I got through 2 packs of wipes. But the total hours taken were 16.5 hours, and that was from when we unwrapped the pallet right through to when Paul listed the last items. The things to consider with this pallet is if you are going to buy a pallet, if you're not paying for next day delivery, then you will need to be in for 3 days because it can turn up at any point. Another thing to bear in mind is, as my daughter would say, it was quite gammy. And these hoovers had pet hairs, human hairs. They were blocked. You had to unblock quite a few, and what you're having is people returning them to the shop saying they're not working when actually they blocked it up, or they were dirty, and So that's that to bear in mind. If you don't want to be dealing with all that dirt and dust, and other people's pet hairs, then it might not be the pallet for you. Also, the product descriptions can be incorrect. We looked at about 4 or 5 pallets of hoovers. And we chose this one purely because it had 2 vacs. Was it the dual power ones that we'd done quite a bit of research on and thought that, okay, this is going to be our pallet. And when the pallet got here, it had different vacs products in, so it didn't have those hoovers in.
Yeah.
So luckily they were of a similar cost, so it wasn't too much of an issue. But if you're buying it, don't buy the pallet for one particular item because it might not be in it. Also, another thing to bear in mind if you're going to be doing this sort of thing is the volume. We had 3 weeks of items being on the table, boxes being around the table. When we cleaned them, they were then on our living room floor for days. So if you haven't got a lot of space, you do have to bear this in mind. Also, the amount of rubbish that it produces, because we didn't sell anything in packaging. So all the packaging, I think we had 14 boxes of packaging, and obviously all the inside bits and pieces. Now we have a trade waste bin, don't we? So it's not too much of a problem for us. We can just flat pack it and put it in the bin.
I was say you can compact it down.
But if you've got a normal bin, you can't put 14 boxes of Hoover boxes in it each week.
No.
So it's just remembering the mess as well. We've been reselling for a number of years, so we're quite used to it being all over the place all the time. But if you're new to this, your other half might not be happy to have their kitchen filled up with a load of Hoover parts for 3 weeks. So it's just bearing those sort of things in mind as well. So would we go for another pallet? Bearing in mind we've sort of made between 400 and almost £600 profit. Would we?
I think
do it again?
Yeah, I think we would.
I don't know if I'd do Hoovers again.
No, well, we
I think I think the thing with us is we purposely chose Hoover parts because with all the other electrical items we weren't 100% sure that if something was damaged we would be able to get our money back. But we did a lot of research on Hoover spares, and we knew that if the motor was burnt out, for example, then we could sell the hose or the floor head or the other bits and pieces. So we did a lot of research beforehand, didn't we? Chose this.
It is making sure you can make money out of what you've received, whether it be good, bad, or And it does take a lot of time. For example, I can do the cleaning, but Paul does all the testing and all that sort of side of it. So we had to split it, didn't we, to work on all the bits and pieces. I think we're quite keen on doing more kitchen appliances next, aren't we? I think we might give that sort of thing a go. Yeah.
I just need a little bit of a break from all that cleaning. Some of the bits were so dirty and scabby. But they've all come up well, haven't they?
Yeah, they
It just
have.
takes a bit of time, and it's just not pleasant.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, so I think we would definitely buy again.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It'd be nice to try something different, I think.
Yeah. No, we'll give it a go. And yeah.
So we're hoping that you've found some of this interesting, at least, and it might convince you that it's worth trying.
The thing is, not every pallet is going to be like the one we received.
No,
it's just it is potluck.
We've seen a lot online, haven't we, where everything's new.
Everything's even
we knew
new,
it wasn't going to be like that,
and we know. Yeah, realistically, it's not going to be like that. But it's you get some good, you get some bad. I think we sort of probably had one in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, what we haven't mentioned is how excited we were to be getting. We had to wait 3 days, didn't we? We couldn't wait to have a look. So it is quite exciting picking the pallet and then waiting for it to arrive. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So we haven't factored that in, the excitement of it.
Yeah.
How sad are we? That we were excited about some Hoover spares.
Yeah. But it's something different that we haven't done
different.
before, and we wanted to give it a go and just to see how you can make money from Hoover spares and parts
and a lot of them, we were quite fortunate. There was like a lot of listings where they were multi-listings where you had three three floor heads or three hoses, so that was quite nice because
so generally you would sort of take a picture of the worst
case,
so the customer's seeing the worst case, and then obviously when they get something a bit better, they're happy.
So overall we quite enjoyed it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Something different, bit of fun.
But,
we've got to make a video about it, so that's good.
Yeah.
So hopefully we've inspired you to go and get your own pallet.
Yeah. Good luck.
Thanks very much. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch our video, and if you liked our content,
please like and subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for so you get notified for any future videos.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.